Fucking crazy. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Trying this again. Sorry about the last little hiccup. Once again, the live chat just said it was unavailable. It's like, well, no point in having this if I can't communicate, right? If I can't hear from you guys here. Okay. So we're back live again. Getting closer to having this thing get, excuse me, getting inserted. What's interesting is I'm actually getting to the point where I think on the next leg, what I might end up doing is doing this via putty rather than a piece of plastic. See how it goes. Hey, Joe, good morning. What's going on, brother? Definitely want this thing to go in. Much head killing this morning from the storms. Really? How are the storms doing that, Joe? Sinuses or something, or what? Okay. Mix of that, and I grind my teeth during pressure. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. I'm sorry, Joe. I think we're going to do one other thing here. It's almost fitting. A bit of aspirin will be a cure this morning. Yeah, there you go, brother. Glad to hear that at least. Okay. Anyway, happy Thursday. The week is almost done. Which makes me very, very happy. Okay. Thank God for Thursday. Amen to that. Yeah. Getting close to the weekend, which is nice. My wife's coming back tonight. So happy about that. And tonight we've got the OSG Unleashed thing going on at 7 p.m. And after that, just going to kick back a little bit. Just enjoy the night. I'm hoping the weather holds just enough. I'd like to actually go out and do a bit of a walk. It's the weather has been just shit, right? The weather's just been shit. So I think there was one night this week that was pretty good. Last night was actually not bad, but it's stuff I needed to get done. So I'm hoping tonight, if the weather holds, I'll be able to do a little walk. Okay, let's drop this piece in. I just put up a couple pieces of styrene in the back here. Just bread tabs. Cut up a couple bread tabs, drop them in back there, just to create a little bit more spacing off of the so this thing doesn't just drop in and sink. Last night was I guess a kind of restful night. Had I took a little bit of a nap before the evening kind of started, so I actually had the ability to stay up a little bit. Got a little bit of the snap building on I'm working on a Sakura Wars kit upstairs while watching TV. Was working on that last night while hanging out with my kids. Watched the Watchmen movie, the Snyder film, with them. Yeah, that Miss comes back. Yeah, pretty excited. Miss having her around. What did I do? That'll do. For you to see the finally Lower Decks. Yeah, we actually started working on Lower Decks a couple nights ago. We were watching a little bit more of season 4, so we're going to be on season 5 very soon. We will be on season 5 soon enough. Okay, where am I tight? In the corner up there. The finale. Hey, Peter. Good morning. Nick, good morning. I love how Star Trek and Doctor Who continue their stories. I have not watched any of the new Doctor Who stuff in a few years. I'm not sure I finished even Peter Capaldi's last year. Got a little tired of it. But yes. Joe, I assuming you're a pretty good Who fan there? New Who? There we go. There she be. Just the monster of the week. Yeah. There we go. All right. Just did a little bit of gap filling. That's it. Got a plate in there. Let's drop this thing in. See what it looks like. Hopefully it won't interfere with it too much, and it shouldn't. Just like that. Yeah. I know what you got. You can actually take a look at the two knees. I'll bring them up here a little bit. And it's just, once again, it's just filling stuff in. There's not a lot of complexity to doing this, right? Jesus Christ, that was scary. Don't mind me as I can't focus for shit. No. Let's see if this does. Like what Joe suggested. Let's see if that does anything. Maybe that helped a little bit. There's the one that's been filled. And of course, my thumb is covering the one that hasn't been. And there's the one that's still empty. Fuck it. Good enough. Okay. So we got that kind of looking a little better, a little cleaner. Again, all it's going to be, and it's going to be, when you think about that area in general, it's going to be pretty dark anyway. So once you get to the painting phase, that area will have some kind of weathering and shadowing and that kind of thing going on inside. Doctor Who fan, I like the lore of the show more than per episode. Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. I'm sort of in that same camp, Joe. Just popped in to say happy friend. Busy as hell. Talk to you later. Richie, have a good day, brother. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. All the best, brother. Later, Richie. All right. Now let's move up on the take a look at the suspension part of this leg. I think we're trying to do some of that. Sorry, guys. Give me a second here as I'm trying to get this thing into position. Hey, Tom, good morning. Let's see what we got. Brass. It is not. Nope. The Zaku is right here, and this thing is going to get primer once I get to also working on the. I've got to prime this. I've got to reprime the Macross kit, and I want to get to painting. And I trying to carve out time this weekend. I actually asked my wife, "Do we have any plans for this weekend?" We do not. So my hope is that this weekend will be some bench time at the airbrush booth. I'm trying to reinvigorate myself into getting into airbrushing again. It sounds like, I don't know. They sounds kind of like, kind of sounds a little odd, but no, it's like I enjoy airbrushing. It's just that I'm just not motivated at the end of the night. Too big. This is 8126. And 8125. No. Okay, so now we're going to rethink strategery here. I go to the model train store in Malden. They're not open on the weekend anymore for some reason. See what they've got for supplies. So I've never understood the concept of a hobby shop doing traditional, what we call, traditional retail hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Never understood that. There's a gaming shop in Norton, Mass, which I've driven by, dropped off some flyers. Probably do the same thing in a little bit as well with regards to both PatCon as well as with just having people join us at Patriot Meeting. And their hours are, I don't remember if they're open 7 days a week, but at least during the week, they're open 3 to 9. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's kind of odd hours, but it makes a lot of sense. During the school year, why would you open before? Why would you only have hours up till 5 o'clock if kids are getting out? Or why would you have hours that shut down by the time most other people are getting out of their 9 to 5 jobs? That whole concept of 3 to 9 is perfect. Look at your target audience and figure out when are they open. They also have an entire floor with a huge train display. I think that would be a big attraction for kids. Yeah, closed on weekends. Yeah, that's my point. It's like, are you doing this because it's convenient for you, or are you doing this because it works for your customers? That makes no sense. Our own business has transitioned. We don't do Saturday and Sunday anymore because we're not retail. We provide more. Sorry, guys. I think I got something in my eye. We offer professional services, installation work, and that kind of thing. That's not a Monday through Friday kind of thing. I'm sorry. It's not an open on the weekends and retail hours. Like the ones open Wednesday to Sunday. It's your finger. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it. By the way, good morning. Go fuck yourself now. It was my finger. Yes. Let's see. I don't even think that. I think they should be open 6 days a week. In fact, what's interesting is there's not I don't know about anybody else. Mondays and Tuesdays can be some easier days for getting stuff like that done, since most things are closed. So why not have something open like a Monday, maybe close a Tuesday, or staff in such a way. If you're retail, you staff so that you can do, depending on the type of retail, you can do a 7-day thing. Now, if you can't afford that, that's a different thing. Okay, let's get back to, let's see what we got. That was brass rod. Let's see what we got. $8126. Definitely don't want square tubing. 8159 is way too small. Maybe it's because all the model and training customers are retired. I was going to say because they're all dead. No offense. Walter, 7 days. Mondays and Tuesdays are the deadest of times. Could be. But the thing is, your malls are designed to work around a generic retail schedule. That's what I'm getting at. It's work. You don't work around a generic retail schedule. You work around a targeted one. What are your clients interested in? And if your clients are like, yeah, you follow it and they don't come Mondays and Tuesdays, perfect. Do I think Wednesday through Sunday works? Absolutely. Do I think weekends are important for that kind of a customer? Absolutely. All cave shop hours, Tuesday through Friday, Saturday. Yeah, see, closed on Sunday and Saturday noon to 3. That to me makes no sense. 0 sense. And the model yesterday came with a nice little Allen wrench to assemble it. Unfortunately, it only has Phillips screw heads. Really? That's awesome. That was some thoughtfulness. $1.5. Yeah, see, I think I already tried this. Oh, sounds extremely ideal for a retiree. That's the point. And that's all well and good if that's what you're trying to do. If everybody that you're kind of catering to is that. But if you're looking to foster newer, younger professional business, well, then maybe your hours need to be what works for your clients. It's like I've used the example a lot in the past. Is anybody watched Faulty Towers? One of the funniest comedies of all time, right? And the whole concept behind Basil Fawlty was that I can run this business so much better if I didn't have to deal with all these pesky clients, all these people who are wanting to come to my hotel. And that's kind of how I feel a lot of retailers run. You're an inconvenience to me. Well, okay, that's fine. I'll take my business elsewhere, but without me, you're not going to keep your doors open. I may have giggled a bit. Go to Hog Heaven today. Hopefully it's not crazy and I can catch up with the owner. Nice. It's only 23 hours of work a week. Yeah. Like I said, it's just kind of stupid. All right. We're still trying to figure out what we're going to do here. I just pulled out a piece of brass rod from 8163. That is not 8163. That was brass rod. $8162. There we go. Not like I can't measure this, right? Yeah, that's correct. Okay, let's leave that right there. Bang my head against it in joy. Well, I hope not. I don't know how to use the wall properly from the how to use the wall. Oh, yeah. And shop near closed on Tuesdays, open 11 to 6 the other days. And that includes Sunday? Yeah, bang it in it. Yeah. Okay, put that there. Whoops. Yes. We're still looking for. Let's see what we got for tubing. I do some aluminum tubing too, except the aluminum tubing is much thicker. Never even opened this one up. Let's open it up, shall we? Yeah, includes Sunday. Okay. There we go. I only need one. I don't need two. Wait for a second. All right. 8160 brass rod. Now I got to find some tubing. This is 0.81. Brass rod, tube. That's what we got here. Sorry, guys, just trying to get overall shape of this thing to look appropriate. Yeah, see that? Okay, that's good. That'll work. There we go. We got the two to fit together. Well, you can barely see it, I guess, but there's a place right there. There where my hand is. Okay. I'll try taking that off and see if that does anything better with kind of brightening things up a little bit here. Basil and I go way back. Oh, yeah. First time I watched that show, was I living at home? I was watching it. I can't remember if it was high school. It must have been college, either right at the beginning of college or the end of college, somewhere in that time frame. End of high school, beginning of college, end of college, somewhere in that time. I was at home watching it, and I was losing my shit watching this. And my mother, who's just English was not her first language, so it had I think some of the comedy escaped her, but she was laughing because she's like, I can't believe how hard you're laughing. I was on the floor. Okay. I think we are going to do this. Yeah. Get a couple of suspension-y bits in there. I'm going to have to make 4 of these. I'm only going to do the first 2 now. Yep. All right, so I got 8125 tubing. Yeah, here we go. We're going to leave those right there. Put the rest of this stuff away. Oops. I miss having both spare time and turn 4 nearby. That's where all of this shit came from. You can get a lot of stuff on that bench. You can get enough. One might say a little too much. All right, all that's put away. Let's get this thing put away for now. This is part of the organizing I still need to do. I need to kind of structure what's going on with the right behind this laptop is and literally the laptop is sitting on top of a shelving unit. But I need to kind of get that reorganized a bit. All right. I'm gonna go pretty tight with those. Gonna start with snapping stuff that I haven't finished up on my return to modeling. I get that. Getting that stuff done is good. I've got, I think, like 5 or 6 things started in the sort of the assembly phase. The MG camphor, which I just kind of lost steam on. I think I lost a part on it, so I got to see what's going on with that. Excuse me. I got the KV1, the KV2 tank, 148 scale, which I just like steam just got lost. It was not a fun model to work on. I've got a couple of 172nd scale tanks I've been working on. Ray might have seen it when we were, when Zoe and I were down at Time Machine. I had my Naushka figure on the, I forget what the feathered horse thing was. Started that. Haven't continued with that since we were there. And then the Sakura Wars kit, which is really fun. Yeah, I've got Mr. Metal primer. I'll prime it. But at the same time, Peter, it's like I'll prime it. And if I don't, I just hit it with regular primer, and then just hand paint it. And then it gets weathered. It's rare that, I take it back. It's rare that any problem happens, though. I did use metal primer on the VK 7201 tank on the brass barrel, and it's still scraped. Go figure. All right, let's mark. I'll take the foot apart. Let's grab a different pen. Yeah, I'm going to start drilling one of them, and then I'm going to do the other one. Let's just see. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. What's underneath there? Yeah, no big deal. Even a self-etching primer will scratch if you try hard enough. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to try hard. I mean, with some of this stuff, it just feels like it. You just kind of come close to it, touch it, and the next thing you know, it's got some stuff. So, yeah. So, I do use it. I'm not going to say once again that it's a 100% necessity. Okay. 1.57, 1.6 is ultimately where we're going to go to. We're going to start with a 0.8. I'm using brass lately. I was wondering if I needed to buy a dedicated metal primer. None of the locals have it. Self-etching primer at the hardware store, overkill? It's a good question. I don't know. I'll let others respond to that. I guess the question of it is whether or not, it's how thick it is. That's the only thing I can think of. But if it does its job, who the hell cares where it comes from? In fact, if I'd have known that I could get it from the hobby shop, I probably wouldn't have searched out the Mr. Metal primer as much as I did. It's good stuff, especially for larger areas. Yeah. But the question is, are there different properties to it? It's kind of like you can use Rust-Oleum or, canned, like hardware store primers, regular primers. The only issue is, you just start flooding in and could potentially overfill some detail. But I think, Ray, even you just kind of called it out. I think the issue is right there. It's, with a lot of scale modeling, are we doing that large a level of coverage? Do we need that kind of coverage? Don't know. I use Rust-Oleum Chrome for the Mark 1 Psycho Gundam. Yeah. I'm not saying you can't. It's not that you cannot. It's just that you have to be cautious on how you apply it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ray. Going up to the 1.6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're taking this thing to 7 o'clock today. There we go. I may have to CA glue or fill in some of the poly cap that's in there. I'm actually grinding through one of the areas that is supporting the poly cap. So I can actually show it. You can see right inside there, right there. So you can see that hole. It's starting to thin out what I've got going on with the poly. So after this is done, I might just do it now. No, I'm going to wait. Drill it out, and then I'm going to probably drop a piece in behind it. Am I going to need to? Ooh, I might not need to. I might have enough support. There might not be a lot of poly there, but there'll be support. Okay, let's set these tools aside. Come back to them in a moment. That looks good. Now let's come up, measure for the next one. I cleaned all the flux off, maybe. Roughing the surface would help. How much metal unit is no longer... How much metal until is no longer considered a plastic model? I don't know if one can... I don't know. I would assume over 50%. If 50%, I don't know. I am not off today. Nope. That's, yeah, I think Nick's answer, yeah, 51%. Anything over 50%. My old truck frame is repainted and I just love that gray-green color. Nice. What if I listened to Iron Maiden when building it? What if? What if? Hello. Sorry, guys, give me a second here. Putting stuff away. I'm gonna leave the brass. You know what? To me, it's just a couple things. Let's put away some of this stuff before we get too far. File, sanding stick. Most of the rest of this is cleaned off enough. Yes. There we go. Just get this shit out of the way. Yeah. Clearing off enough space on the bench. There we go. Okay. So tomorrow, I'm just going to get the basic shape done right now. And then tomorrow I'll break out the chop saw and try to see how close I can get to cutting these things. This tubing, if I can get really close on my tolerances on it. I'm not sure I'm going to, but we'll see. We shall see. So what is the percentage for each stage when going from human to bionic to cyborg to just full machine? Tom, I'm are you asking from a sentience perspective? I'm trying to figure out what the question is. Getting a little metaphysical for this early. I mean, it's not even 7 o'clock yet here on the East Coast, dude. From a curiosity, I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe more gifted people, more philosophizers can answer that. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. Like if you get a pacemaker, it makes you bionic. I suppose it could. I suppose it could. But that far, so I can't answer. Okay. These have certainly been, are not inexpensive. However, do I think that they're worth this is one of those places, it's like you look at it and it's like, I've used other drill bits. These are the best drill bits out there that I've used. Are there better ones, cheaper? Could be. But from all the ones that I've tried over the years, these are certainly the best out there. Okay. Let's put these away now. That was a question in Cyberpunk. Look up Atom Smasher story bit. The 6 million yuan man. Good bits are worth the money. Good drill bits, yeah, absolutely. And these are worth it. These are definitely worth it. I've had excellent experience with them. Do I have cheap ones as well? Absolutely. Do I use the cheap ones? Absolutely. Okay. Let's just do this real quickly. How much time I got? Yeah, another minute or two. Measure brings up a comic book character. It does. So there we go. Why even bother? Here, if I cover my face. There it goes. So we got the bottom suspension bits. What I'll do now is I will measure and cut tomorrow. I will measure and cut the two pieces of, or the lower suspension bits and the upper suspension bit. And that's it. Comic book, I would just call that guy AliExpress man. I won't admit that what I spend on drill bits, good ones for metal, hurt the old wallet. Oh, I would imagine if you're trying to go through metal, sure. And especially, I mean, that's for your line of work, Ray. That would certainly make sense, right? So what are you doing with the brass? Just making holes, making holes, putting plastic. I put it in plastic. That's all. Just randomly, just finding a place I can put a hole and just stick some brass in. Making suspension bits. And you do it with brass rather than styrene because you just can't get the wall thicknesses, the sizing with with plastic in the same way. There are places where brass really just comes in beautifully. This is why, you know, it doesn't matter what the material is. It's what's the execution that you're looking for. What's the goal? Okay, do something like that if memory serves. Oops, hello. So now we just measure how much we're going to need. What's the total height here? We're going to measure this, and then we're going to call it a session, guys. We'd like to have new eyes. What does that mean? Okay. My total height is 4 millimeter. So I'm going to probably go, I could do 2.5 B. I think I want to do more than that. I think we're going to go 3. Maybe a little under 3, like 2.75 millimeter, 2.75, and then the rest of it be the thinner tubing. I think is what we're going to do. But that is for tomorrow, and we will break out. If I can find where I put the fucking thing. Let's see. Oh, yep. Later, Joe. Have a good one, brother. We'll be breaking this out for tomorrow. Later, Nick. Have a good one. Putting that right there, getting it ready for mañana. And with that, my friends, time for me to get rolling too. Going to head them up, move them out, get the day started. Got a meeting in Boston this morning, and then back to the office, and then home tonight. Tonight we'll be we'll be doing at 7 p.m. We will be doing the OSG Unleashed thing. Just so much to talk about. So much to talk about, and so much I don't want to talk about. But I'll be unloading a little bit on tonight's episode. So, and then we'll be back on tomorrow morning, and we'll be working on the suspension bits on this thing. So once again, really happy to be working on this model again. I kind of missed the work that I was doing on this thing. So I'm going to get the basic construction done, do the damage, get the thing painted, and theoretically, this one should not take a lot of effort. But why did it get put in a drawer for like the last 4 years? Anyway, with that, everybody, stay safe and stay sane. Thanks for being on this morning. I really do appreciate it. Always fun morning conversations. It's good doing this stuff and having somebody along for the journey. Always makes the journey more enjoyable. Go out there and do good. Crazy world, insane world. I cannot believe what we're going through right now, but it's up to us individually to go out there and brighten it as much as we possibly can for somebody, okay? Just make somebody's day a better day. Don't treat them like shit. Don't treat them poorly. Don't beat up on them. Do right by people. Be back on tomorrow morning for this. Tonight, 7 p.m. for the OSG Unleashed thing. Catch you all later. Love you all. Peace.